ultimately, yes, it's my game face, which normally people see on the cricket, on the television when I'm on the cricket field, and that's about it. That's all I know to try and come back in a winning dressing room. And for that, if people think I'm serious, that's fine.
What is your long-term vision for the team?
Look, try and keep it very simple. First of all, there is short-term vision, there is long-term vision, and the short-term vision and the long-term vision is exactly the same. Try and win every game you represent your country, as simple as it can get. I don't complicate things. I don't believe in complicating things. Try and keep it simple, because ultimately, anyway, it's a high-pressure job, be it playing on the cricket field or be it coaching 140 crore Indians and the most, probably the proudest cricket team on the planet. So just try and keep it simple.
Since you mentioned yourself, it's a high-pressure job. How do you deal with the pressure of it? What is your mantra?
See, first of all, you got to accept that there's got to be a lot of pressure. As simple as it can get. A lot of people do not even accept that there's a lot of pressure. There will always be a lot of pressure because there will be a lot of expectations as well. So make sure that you try and do the right things day in, day out, and try and keep the team ideology first, team first ideology, and try and make the right decisions. What is important for the team as compared to what are important for individuals. I think more often than not, you'll get the results.
In one line, what is your short-term vision and what is the long-term vision for the team?
Look, first of all, we're going through a transition, and as we all know that the transition should be as smooth as possible. Obviously, sometimes it does take a bit of a time for the transition to happen. Not a lot of challenge in white ball cricket, but yes, in red ball cricket, we got to be patient with young boys, then try and give them time to flourish, try and give them time to develop as well, rather than scrutinizing day in, day out, which is not going to be good for Indian cricket. So make sure that the transition is smooth, because this is probably the toughest transition that can happen, because it's going to happen in all the three departments. So my first job is to try and make it as smooth as possible.
How are you building the next line of leadership within the team?
Look, that you will get to know, because it's just happened. So we've got the England tour, which is going to be an important tour, which is going to be a tough tour as well. So a lot of young players will get an opportunity, and hopefully they're going to flourish. And we, as I just mentioned it to you, that we got to give them time to flourish rather than just criticizing or judging them day in, day out, which is not going to help Indian cricket. So make sure that when the transition is happening, people should not even get to know that the transition is happening, and that's the best transition.
And with these young players, what is the dressing room culture that you want to build as a leader, as a coach?
So be it with the young team, be it with the experienced guys, the dressing room culture is only one. That's always the team first ideology. What is important for the team needs to be done as compared to what is important for individual, because in a team sport, yes, individuals do play an important role, but not as big a role as what the entire dressing room and what a team needs to do collectively. I think if the team walks on the same path, walks with the same vision, I think it's more often than not we do get the results.
And as a coach, as a leader, what is the risk that you are willing to take and why with the team?
Look, I'm willing to take all the risk, and if you don't take the risk, you won't get the rewards, and that's the reason why I said that never be scared of making a mistake. If you're making a mistake, think you're with the right intent, that is still acceptable. But if you make a mistake with wrong intent, that is absolutely not acceptable. So there are times when you make a decision, decisions do go in your favor, sometimes decisions don't go in your favor. But if the intent is right, more often than not, it do work in your favor. Most of the time, people are not able to make a decision because they're so scared of making a mistake. I've never been scared of making a mistake.
And a very important tournament is coming up in England. What is, how are you preparing the team for the challenge, for the competition?
We still have quite a bit of time to go, because IPL is obviously happening once the IPL finishes, and when we go to England, we'll start preparing, because the conditions are going to be different, the format is going to be different. So the sooner we adapt to the conditions, the sooner we adapt to the format, and the better prepared we are, obviously it's going to make life much more easier.
And finally, before we go, what is your way of nurturing the next generation of talent into the team? Like so many younger players that we spotted also during the IPL. So how are you getting them
let them be themselves, rather than enforcing or putting anything on them. Let them just try and be free, and it will be okay to make mistakes, because the first and foremost job of a coach is, when a young player is there, first of all, give him that environment where he can be himself, and second, if he makes some mistakes, it's okay to make a mistake. Because two things which are absolutely not acceptable is, first, obviously we need to give the right environment, and second, putting pressure on them by not making a mistake. The more we put pressure on them on not making a mistake, the more they'll make mistakes.
Is this something that you also followed in your cricketing career, and you were encouraged by your coaches and your mentors?
I wish I was encouraged by my coaches that it was okay to make mistakes, but you learn from your mistakes, and more importantly, if I wasn't encouraged, doesn't mean that I don't encourage the next generation. It's okay to make a mistake, because you learn from your experiences, and I've always believed in one thing: the more you put pressure on someone by not making a mistake, the more he makes mistakes. And in a sport, it is always, sometimes you take the right decisions, you take the wrong decisions, sometimes you get frustrated, but it's okay. I think human beings are bound to make mistakes.
And as a coach, what is the legacy that you would like to leave behind?
I don't want to leave behind anything. I want to leave everything on the cricket field, and more importantly, if we can make the country proud, that's all that you want to do it, rather than thinking about the legacy and stuff. Every time you walk onto the cricket field, you want to come back as a winner.
Great. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's
Thanks
mine.
for joining us today.
Thank you for watching CNBC TV 18. For all the market action and news, follow us on our social media platforms.